Very good afternoon. My name is Azreen Azreena binti Zaharin, and today I will share with you guys tips on how to improve your pronunciations. What? Can you say that again? I believe a lot of us will hear this when you're speaking, right? Even when you speak with the correct English grammar and superb vocabulary, but somehow there are still some of people still not understand you because of your pronunciations. I can say that as non-native language for your mother tongue, it would be a difficult task to pronounce any English words with a correct vowels. As an example, English vowels make it tricky to know how to say a word. For example, we, wait, and way are all same. Philip Beckley stated that to become competent users of the second language, learners must focus on various aspects of the language they are attempting to learn. It's common to find a good student that have a very good in English written but lack ability or confidence to use spoke English as a communications tool. One of the reasons for this is due to improper pronunciations in English vowels. What is pronunciations? Pronunciation is a clear communication which is someone can speak with a correct vowels, consonants, and able to control their intonations, rhythm, and word stress. On these presentations, I will share with you tips on how to improve your pronunciations in your daily communications. Now, basically, to master in English speaking is quite easy. For an example, if you visit any countries that their mother tongue is not English language, most of them can speak with a simple English. But the thing is, are they pronounced that words with a correct sound? Hence, I will share with you some tips on how to improve your English pronunciations. So, there are 5 techniques. And number 1, learn to listen. Number 2, identify your weak vowels. Number 3, pay attention to word and sentences stress. Number 4, slow down your rate of speech. And last but not least, number 5, record yourself. Number 1, learn to listen. Tony Lynch and Kenneth Anderson from the English Language Teaching Center at University of Edinburgh stated that in order to improve our pronunciation is by listening the English speakers in any platform such as like televisions, the net, or in a person on how they pronounce specific words and phrases. However, if you just listen without a practice, it's such a waste of your time. So, once you listen that word, then it's a time to practice and model it. What is the meaning of model that I mentioned earlier? Well, to make your pronunciation perfect, you need to practice, like a famous phrase, practice makes perfect. For example, for me itself, if there is a word that hard to pronounce, I will listen to the net and practice a few times. Sometimes just stand in front of the mirror and you can keep repeating that word. This is a part of the practice that can make your pronunciation getting better and better. There are some excellent videos and audio guides on English pronunciation that you can improve. Nowadays, with latest technology, we can use that kind of platform such videos and podcasts about English pronunciation, such as like the channel Pronunciations has over 200 audio files that help with everything from pronunciation to stress and pitch. Number 2, identify your weak vowels. Fortunately, there are several ways in which English learners can improve their pronunciations once they have identified the main pitfalls. Thus, Once you have identified which vowels that you weak, then you can start to practice minimal pairs. The meaning of minimal pairs are two words that are different by only one sound. Some of these words require you a lot of practices by listening those words and keep repeating by yourself. Please refer below for some words that have different meaning but have the same sounds. For example, IT sounds it and EAT sound it. Sound the same. Chair, share, wait, wet, eyes, eyes. Number 3 is pay attention to words and sentences stress. Every English word has its own normal stress pattern. For example, the word believe have 2 syllables, be and live, but only the second syllable is stressed. If you refer to the most of dictionary, it should show the syllabus stressed by apostrophe before the syllabus to be stressed. As a speaker, to produce the correct pronunciation by to pronounce the last sound of each word. In many languages other than English, the last sound of words is a vowel. When you speak, you move your mouth. How you move your mouth affects how you pronounce the words. It's also important to realize that regardless of grammar, changing the last consonant of a word can drastically change its meaning. I ate some toast with butter in the morning. Please try reading above sentence aloud without the stress. The sentence will sound flat without the intonation and rhythms. So, what the result if the speaker giving a speech like that? You will make the audience feel boring and leave early. Sentences have stresses too. Some words are more important and are said with more clarity and strength than the rest of the sentence. The sentence should have sounded like this. The bold words are stressed one. I ate some toast with butter in the morning. Notice how you slow down every time you get to an important word and quickly pass over the less important ones. However, on any regardless, keep practice pronouncing final consonant by reading out loud daily one paragraph from a book, newspaper, or magazine, having conversations and listening well to know where others place stress when they speak. Number 4. Slow down your rate of speech. Many English learners think that speaking fluently means they need to speak fast. This is totally wrong. Speaking too fast will make the speaker sound nervous and indecisive and reinforce bad habits. The reason for this is because when you speak slowly, it will give you, as a speaker, a time to breathe properly and think on the next word that you will say. To make your pronunciation is perfect, it's not required you to sound like a native speaker. According to Joanne Catworthy, the main aim for you to focus is to be comfortable in tangibles. The use of the word comfortable is to refer to the comfort of the listeners rather than speakers. Comfortable intelligibility implies that second language learners should not only make themselves understood to their listeners, but should not irritate. This is just not a matter of pronunciations, but of general speaking habits. Some of speakers, they are trying to speak too fast just to show them how fluent they are speaking. But based on Judy Raven's experience, he stated on his paper that improper use of rate of speech can greatly affect a listener's ability to understand the speakers. It's a common misconception that if we talk faster, people will think we are more fluent. That's simply not true. Even when you are an English native speaker, when you give a speech with a slow rate of comfortable rate, the audience are less likely to ask you to repeat yourself. What is the tip to slow down your speech rate? Well, the best way to pause your speech between ideas. This is a simple technique will help speakers to speak with more clarity. Make sure to pause after commas and periods, which is make the speaker look more confident and good in front of the audience. In conclusion, the rate of your speech is one of the main practices to ensure speakers pronounce words during a speech with a correct vowels, rhythms, consonants, stress, and intonations. Learn how to slow down your speech by knowing the periods or when need to stop, because it will make you feel more relaxed and be able to make you concentrate on making your English sound fantastic. Last but not least, number 5, record yourself. I guess this will be the last tip that I will share with you guys, which is the last tip is the one way to tell if your practice as above is working or not. So record yourself with a camera will be the last tip. That's why I mentioned to record by camera only, not with the raw voice recorder as well. The reason is because when you record by a camera, it is important for you to see how you speak, not only to hear it. Every single words that you may find it hard once you already listen the correct sound for that particular words, then you may use your smartphone to record then the way you speak for that words and how the sounds turn out. Compare your recording to someone else that good in their pronunciations. It is correct, although I still need to practice more. This will help you to recognize either your speech with a correct intonations, stress, and pronunciations. Hence, from there, you can learn and keep practice. Speak as much as you can. If you don't speak often or feel embarrassed, then you can become nervous when it's finally time to open your mouth and say something in English. This is same as playing basketball. You might be good at running, at dribbling and passing, but you never shoot the ball. Why? Because you know how to shoot the ball by watching other people to do it all the time, but you never done it. So the same goes to speaking. Not only do you need English pronunciation practice, but you need to get over your nervous so that you feel comfortable speaking in front of the people. Nervous can lead to a lot of mistakes, especially regarding pronunciations. Why does pronunciations matter? Subconsciously, the listener make quick judgment about a speaker English ability based on their pronunciations. No matter how accurate a learner's grammar and no matter how rich and expressive their vocabulary, if their pronunciation is poor, then this immediately give a negative impression of their overall language level. If the speaker with a poor pronunciation, it can be difficult to listen to, since it demands the listener have a great effort and concentration, and furthermore sometimes it will lead to misunderstanding. Meanwhile, if the speakers have a clear pronunciation, this has immediate benefits. Listeners judge the speaker's overall language ability much more favorable, even to the point of tolerating grammatically and other errors. Plus, a good pronunciation is an asset to the speaker itself, as it provides them with a valuable confidence boost. As a conclusion, just bear in mind that good pronunciation does not mean native-like pronunciations. If you aim to sound like a native English speaker, it will make you disappointed soon. Instead, the aim should be acquire a listener-friendly pronunciation, one which listeners can understand without effort and which can be used to make meaningful conversation possible. If the listening task is too effortful, listeners will simply stop listening. Based on the tips given, stress of the words and sentence is the main point to ensure that the speaker sounds the correct pronunciations. This includes on how you control your intonations, rhythms, vowels, and consonants. When it combines with the correct speech rate, then you speak with a fantastic pronunciation and increase your confidence level. Please keep practice because practice makes perfect. And that's all for today. Goodbye for now. Thank you. Good afternoon.